Blake Lively and Taylor Swift were formerly close friends, but their relationship has clearly soured in the wake of recent events. The story behind the headlines is complicated and involves personal limits, legal upheaval, and clashing values. In this video, we will go through 7 key reasons that explain why Taylor Swift decided to step back from her friendship with Blake Lively. Number 7. Involvement in legal drama. Taylor Swift's unanticipated involvement in Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's legal dispute was a turning point that severely damaged their friendship. The quarrel started during the making of the movie It Ends With Us, which was beset by problems about artistic control, script changes, and contracts. In a startling $400 million countersuit, Justin Baldoni, who was first involved as an actor or producer, claimed that Lively and her crew had used compulsion and intimidation techniques. Swift was called to a private meeting with Baldoni by Blake Lively during this tense time, perhaps as a goodwill gesture or as a means of mediating the situation. Swift's presence was eventually used as a weapon in the court documents. Nevertheless, as part of a planned attempt to coerce Baldoni into complying, Swift had no intention of playing chess in a legitimate match. Therefore, this association severely troubled him. The litigation's public nature ran the risk of casting Swift's name in unfavorable press and fan conjecture, thus overshadowing her own creative pursuits and charitable activities. Being unintentionally thrown into a tense legal battle was upsetting and harmful for Swift, whose business is based on meticulously maintained authenticity and a favorable public image. 6. Feeling used as a power move. The realization that Taylor Swift's participation in the meeting was a premeditated power move, orchestrated by Blake Lively rather than a mere act of friendship, was at the heart of her disenchantment, unaware that her celebrity position was being used as a tactical tool in a high-stakes negotiation. Swift had accepted the invitation as a kind, informal gesture. Swift's basic principles of integrity, openness, and respect for one another were transgressed. By this deception, it was extremely painful and degrading to be unwittingly used as a weapon in a war she did not want to be involved in. It was implied that Lively put winning the argument ahead of preserving their friendship. This exploitation was unacceptable to Swift, who has always maintained a reputation for devotion and truthfulness. The fact that Swift had trusted Lively, only to learn that their friendship was being used for strategic gain, added to the feeling of betrayal. The Khaleesi and Dragons incident, Blake Lively's view of their friendship, was very different from Taylor Swift's, as demonstrated by the Khaleesi and Dragons metaphor. In private correspondence with Justin Baldoni, Lively portrayed herself as Khaleesi, a strong, nearly legendary character from Game of Thrones, and referred to Swift and Ryan Reynolds as her dragons, strong, terrifying beings that she controlled. This visual suggested that Swift and Reynolds were weapons or fierce protectors in the battle, acting as extensions of Lively's will. This was quite disturbing and objectifying to Swift. It turned her into a tool of intimidation, a position she neither agreed to nor felt comfortable performing, rather than an autonomous individual with her own agency. Additionally, the metaphor implied a relationship of dominance and subordination that ran counter to Swift's view of himself as an independent person. This episode revealed a basic divergence in their relationship. Swift desired a true connection, founded on equality and respect, while Lively saw their friendship through the prism of power dynamics and strategic alignment. 4. Damage to Swift's public image. One of Taylor Swift's most closely guarded assets is her public persona, which has been painstakingly developed over years of calculated professional choices, public relations campaigns, and personal narratives. Millions of people around the world have fallen in love with her because of her tenacity, relatability, and sincerity. This reputation was seriously threatened by being linked to a well-known judicial battle involving claims of coercion and intimidation. Swift was well aware that being linked to such an issue may result in unfavorable fan reactions, misinformation, and hurtful headlines, which could erode the audience's trust in her. Swift has always aimed to steer clear of needless drama that takes away from her artistic abilities and charitable endeavors, in contrast to certain celebrities who might seek controversy for exposure. The possibility that her name might be associated with a controversial case threatened to eclipse her music, philanthropic endeavors, and meticulously manicured image. Strain over Lively's unrestrained behavior. One of the main reasons why Taylor Swift and Blake Lively's friendship failed was their fundamentally different personalities. Swift is renowned for approaching her work and personal relationships with consideration, strategy, and moderation. She prioritizes tactful conflict resolution, open communication, and diplomacy, frequently pausing to think through the long-term effects of her choices. On the other hand, Lively's disposition is marked by audacity, fearlessness, and a full-throttle attitude. Her tendency to act quickly and decisively, frequently without hesitation or restraint, might intensify rather than diffuse confrontations. Swift appreciated Lively's self-assurance and determination to defend herself, but she also understood that such unbridled conduct may cause needless drama and harm. This temperamental difference led to constant conflict because Swift had to balance Lively's combative, aggressive nature with her taste for cool, collected disagreement resolution. Advice ignored and friendship shift. Blake Lively persisted in taking a more aggressive and confrontational stance in the face of Taylor Swift's repeated attempts to counsel him on how to resolve conflicts in a more tactful and diplomatic manner. Swift advised Lively to think about the long-term effects of her actions and to control her reactions based on her vast experience navigating the spotlight and handling stressful situations. Lively, however, mostly ignored this counsel in favor of intensifying the conflict. They grew increasingly frustrated and realized that their values and approaches to problem-solving were fundamentally at odds. As a result of their failure to follow Swift's advice, Swift realized that keeping a close relationship in these conditions was no longer viable or healthy, and the friendship started to change. Swift felt forced to defend herself on an emotional and professional level as a result of the inability to establish common ground. 1. Swift's decision to step back. The mature and deliberate choice to politely back away from her friendship with Blake Lively was ultimately made by Taylor Swift. This choice was influenced by a number of interrelated elements, including Swift's intense desire to preserve her own peace of mind, emotions of manipulation and betrayal, the growing legal drama that jeopardized her reputation, and irreconcilable differences in personality and ideals. By taking a back seat, Swift sought to remove herself from a complex and poisonous circumstance that put her in danger of mental depletion and negative publicity. According to insiders, this distance is not always permanent, but rather a calculated break that gives both parties time to consider the nature of their relationship and for tensions to subside. Swift's strategy demonstrates her maturity and dedication to surrounding herself with those who uphold her morals and boundaries. Ultimately, Taylor Swift decided to distance herself from a tense friendship in order to preserve her integrity and tranquility. This choice demonstrates her unwavering dedication to self-care and sincerity. Thanks for watching our video, and don't forget to subscribe.